Yeah, my name is Okwemi Rinyo. I'm a development practitioner and analyst, and the team lead of research policy and strategy of YouthNext. YouthNext is an organization who is trying to achieve a paradigm shift in leadership in Nigeria. We believe that Nigeria's youths, despite for the fact that we account for over 60% of the population, we demand to have significant positions. We demand to have significant representation at all levels of leadership, from the local government to the state level to the federal level. We believe that the level of unemployment and poverty that the Nigerian youth are experiencing is unprecedented in our history. And for over 16 years since the advent of democracy in Nigeria, we've left leadership in the hands of our fathers, our grandfathers, and they've not been able to deliver in terms of youth unemployment. So right now, YouthNext, we are building a new generation. We're trying to motivate or reawaken a new generation of Nigerian youth who will take the bull by the horn and implement the change we want to see for ourselves. We don't want youths that will be unpicked by these same old leaders who represent their interests. We want youths who would emerge from amongst us and deliver for ourselves. So what YouthNext is trying to achieve right now is to galvanize, to reawaken the Nigerian youth. And we started by using this Lagos State election as taking place. But just our press statement has stated, we demanded 50%, and we hope that they will listen to that. Now, if the situation happens that we don't realize that we don't have youth representation at the level of the local government, then we pick it up from there right now and declare our intentions in terms of protest to the National Assembly, and also make it achieve a domino effect across all the federation leading up to 2019 elections.
And that's why we've been having a lot of strategic and brainstorming sessions. We have physical meetings, and we're trying to drop a strategy where we can actually get the grassroots people and youth involved in our movement. So what we're just trying to do basically is to engage youth in governance and to try and propagate and make people understand that it's high time youth got engaged in politics. No, basically, we're trying to see how we can get qualified youths. So it's not about just having youths, but it's about having qualified youths that truly have the interests of the country at heart and truly will be able to help us, with negotiating at the top level on what the youth truly need. We need a true representation of the youth involved. So we don't really have any particular person that YouthNext is supporting, but we're just trying to say that there'll be structures and there'll be guidelines in place where we can actually have people and see them debate and be able to tell us that this is what I want to do. This is what I feel like I'm able to up the youth to. This is what I feel that if I'm able to get into this position, I'll change the way things have been done.
Since we came into civilian dispensation in Nigeria, of course you see examples of old people holding down the power in Nigeria, and as a result of that, they recycle themselves. They give us a sick person and support him with a deputy that has some energy. But even then, it doesn't mean that those people they are deputizing them with. You see the example of Goodluck Jonathan. I'm not saying that I want to denigrate anybody, but we are simply saying that the cycle has stayed long enough. It is time for us to now begin to change it. YouthNext simply means that, okay, there's now a global agitation for youth movement, youth political leadership. An example of the one that just happened in, the Macron phenomenon in France. Nigeria cannot be an exception. If the crowd that goes to redemption camp without getting any genuine redemption, by the way, and then the crowd that goes to Olamide Whiskey, the video concert, can focus their energy, and of course the same volume of 11 million youths that voted on the Big Brother Nigeria show can concentrate that numeric strength into political relevance in Nigeria. Of course, we will get it. That is what we are now trying to do with YouthNext, to say, youth, it is time to begin to take the social media power you have, time to begin to take your numerical strength for political relevance, so that we can lead ourselves out of these doldrums that we find ourselves in this country.
Well, I won't say that there are a lot of rough boys per se, that they just feel there's no meaning to life. All they have to do is just wake up in the morning, drink, smoke, and the next day. So instead of just sitting in my office and saying, oh, okay, I'm too fresh for all these guys, I actually sat down with them. I actually sit down with these guys and I tell them, look, what are you doing to change the way you're living? Do you want your children, because most of these people, they have children from different women, what do you want your children to come up and be proud to say, no mama, no? I'm like, so what are you doing? Like, there's no money. What are you doing to make money? Most of these people, they don't do anything. They sleep on the roads. If police people come, they raid them, they throw them in jail, and it's just ridiculous. So I just joined this platform. So with this platform, I feel I can reach out to these youths and bring them in.
YouthNext is actually now What we are actually advocating for is the youth inclusiveness in government, and we want it now. We want this affirmative action, and the reason we want that is so simple. Every policy of the government, every structure of the government or the government action really affects 80% of the youth. We are much more populated if you look at the population of the Nigerian economy. So if the government is dishing out any policy, any structure, it affects us more. So that's why we want youth inclusiveness in government. We want to be engaged, we want to be engaging in government of the day in terms of their policy. We want to make sure we put them on their toes. We want to make sure that we check their manifesto with what they're actually doing on ground, and to see if they have actually done as they have promised. So YouthNet is now.